I do know what you mean because I remember going to Berkeley in 2001 when I went travelling, and I did buy a poster which said Osama Bush Laden.
I don't know. I haven't really looked at his work. Is there a book of Hitler's work? I'm sure it would sell well nowadays.
Yeah,
they
it would do.
Translate into Arabic.
Yeah, Jack's got it as a coffee table in his house. Peruse a great man's art. I seriously think, like, genuinely, I reckon if you made that coffee book, I reckon you'd have Hitler.
Really?
Yeah, of course you would.
Hitler's paintings.
Hitler's paintings.
Misunderstood. He wouldn't have killed you all
if
you'd have just accepted his art.
All you had to do was say, "Oh, that's quite good." This whole thing with the Middle East, and of course it's tragic and it's awful, and people would die, and that's terrible. But the protest element of it made me just realise, like, if you get a catchy little rhyme, that's all you need. You don't need arguments.
You just need from the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Free of what?
Jews.
Jews.
Hello and welcome to Francis Foster Sorts Your Life Out. Look, we do the same. Anyway, look, the point of the show is that I sort your life out. And it's, I think we've been providing an invaluable help for the community. We've got one of my favourite people. She is an artist. She is a satirist. Yep. She's a comedian. She's also a lady. And which you know, is great. It's great. It's Miriam Elia, everybody.
Thank you. Once, twice, three times.
Exactly. If 3 times a person with a cervix.
Yes. A person of the cervix.
Yeah. A person of the cervix. A person with what else can you say? A uterus haver?
I'm a uterus thing. I don't even think about my uterus.
Don't you?
No, never.
That's very transphobic of you.
I'm scared. Phobic.
How have you been?
No. I've been all right. I've been good.
Yeah.
I've been busy, and I've been making work about the world around me, which is obviously slowly descending into chaos.
What do you mean slowly?
We're in the chaos. I don't know. We're at the top of the water slide. We're halfway down the water slide. We're in the...
I don't know. Maybe Trump's going to save the world.
Yeah.
I mean, as we speak, and this could age very badly, but as we speak, we are entering into, dare I say it...
Peace treaty in Israel.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Hashem.
And do you know what's great about it? And I spoke to you about it. Is all the pro-Palestine supporters are delighted. I've seen them all tweeting about it, going, "Thank God President Trump has stopped the genocide."
No, they're full of crap, aren't they? They don't want peace. They just want to fight. They like a fight.
Yeah.
And the Palestinians don't really want to fight anymore because they shouldn't. And obviously the Israelis don't want to fight. They just want to get on with their lives.
Yeah, but who's going to go to the rallies?
Oh, it's just some old ladies. You know, they're always old ladies with scarves who have, like, some of them are like, you know, old hippies, basically, I think. A lot of them are old progressives. They're kind of well-meaning people, but they've just got it all wrong.
Yeah, that's
how I feel about them. I don't like demonizing anyone unless they're like, "I want you dead," you know, but most of them are like well-meaning, well-read, you know, nice women from Zone 3, and they've just got this wrong. They've just got it wrong.
Do you know what? I do wonder, do you think Just Stop Oil lost their shit when this whole thing kicked off in the Middle East? Because everybody who would go to a Just Stop Oil gig, now they're at pro-Palestine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, why would you go and watch Leyton Orient or a very small football team?
That's my husband's football team.
Yeah, exactly. If you can go and watch, you know, Real Madrid.
It's so true. I don't know. They go from thing to thing, don't they? They flip from thing to thing.
Yeah.
First it's we're all going to die because of the climate. Then it's those bloody Jews. Sorry, I mean Zionists again. Zionists. And you know, I've got some of my best friends are Jewish. Then it will go back to what will it be next? Although there was COVID, they were all locking themselves in. So yeah, it's just kind of one extreme unhinged thing to the next extreme unhinged thing. But I think the only way to navigate it is to just sort of compartmentalise it and say, you know, put them over there and just carry on with your life.
Do you know what? This whole thing with the Middle East, and of course it's tragic and it's awful and people would die, and that's terrible. But the protest element of it made me just realise, like, if you get a catchy little rhyme, that's all you need. You don't need arguments.
You just need from the river to the sea.
Yeah, exactly. Palestine will be free.
Free of what?
Jews.
Oh, no, you can live there as an ethnic minority, but under a secular democratic Palestine governed by mainly ethnic Palestinians. I just get to, the river to the sea, that when I see it just makes me think of blood. Rivers of blood, sea of blood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it does.
And they're often holding up some kind of weapon or some kind of,
Yeah, but that's a peaceful
weapon.
There's
a dark feeling to it all, because it's just like the colours that they used to wear, they wear as well. It's like red, green is like envy, red is blood, black. There's sort of a darkness to it.
Yeah.
You can actually see it, You don't look at them and go, oh, you're the good guys.
That is true. That is true. And then they've got other ones like death to the IDF, that one.
That's terrible.
Of course it is.
That's like my family you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying
and they're like, they kill children. And I'm like, well, hold on. Can you show me the unit in the IDF that is dedicated to killing children? Like, come on, guys, let's get up. Let's go and kill some children. Can you show me that unit, the plan, the game plan? No, because it doesn't exist. We all know about the human shields. We know that kids die in all wars, tragically, terrible. I have 3 children. But to say that Jewish people purposefully go and do that, that's just the blood libel. And when you point it out, they go, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, the blood libel. The blood libel. It's as old as time.
It is. It's really interesting. What I've found so interesting about this is just like how willingly people expose themselves. That's the thing that I've found fascinating about that. They'll just come out and just be like, say the most horrific anti-Semitic things, and you're like, did you?
But we won't offend anybody else.
Yeah.
You might as well just offend everybody, because it's really horrible.
Yeah.
But I think there's sort of deeper spiritual problems in it all. I don't take anything at surface level. You know what I mean?
So what do you think is
quite religious.
Yeah. So what do you think is a deeper spiritual problem?
I think they have a kind of a deep. How do I put it? They're unsettled in themselves, and that's why they kind of lean into this, because it's not really about the Palestinians. It's not really about the land.
No.
It's their own kind of existential crisis.
Yeah.
But coming out in that way, and it probably always has been that. Because the Nazis just said, oh, it's about science.
Yeah.
But, we know that it wasn't about science. That's pseudo. That's like the kind of like the wallpaper, you know? But there's something underneath in them that is unhinged.
Yeah.
And needing a relationship with something higher. I think there's something in that. Like I said, a lot of them are very well-meaning, but they don't know why they feel so strongly. But you always have to ask yourself, why am I acting so strongly without any kind of, I'm not questioning myself. I'm just chanting. It's a religious ceremony what they're doing.
I think it's a very profound point. I think it's about people's deep and meaningful, the deep need to belong to something. You need to belong to something. The classic quote is, when a man can't fight against something, he fights against himself. He goes to war. If a man can't go to war, he goes to war with himself.
That's exactly what they've done. It's a self-destruct button, isn't it?
Yeah. I know. People come into this expecting comedy, and we've just...
Sorry.
Yeah, and I'm
an artist.
Yeah.
With a sense of humour.
Which means you're in about the minority of about 6 artists. Most artists don't have a sense of humour.
Yeah.
You talk to a lot of artists, you're like, oh, mate.
Oh, my God.
You go, where's this?
But they mistake being profound with being miserable. And actually, being miserable is not being profound. It's just being miserable.
People think that if you're miserable, somehow you're interesting. Like, oh, I've got all of this pain, mate. I've got all of this pain, so that means I've got this great insight into life. And you're like, mate, I'll be honest with you, you're fucking boring.
I think they read a lot of the kind of, the Beat Generation, Jack Kerouac and all of that. It sold them this idea of what actual insight and depth is. I don't see it myself, but it's like again, it's like they're ticking the boxes. So that's, my next book is all about ticking those boxes, I suppose. Playing up as being the artist with my pronouns.
I'm being really serious.
Being really serious about my sexual identity. Yeah, and it's waffle.
It is.
If you actually, a lot of them, I think if you got them drunk, they would admit that it was waffle.
Yeah, it's all bollocks. And on that note, we're going to get some, because we're going to, by the way, are you good at sorting people's problems out, Miriam? You're a mum.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm a good listener.
You're a good listener.
I can't sort people's problems out all the time.
Yeah.
I have a lot of problems to deal with myself, but I always have a smile on my face.
It's the only way to be.
Yeah, so, it depends what the problem is,
All right, well, let's see the first one. Dear Francis, a friend told me his daughter is applying to study fine art at uni. He supports her, but quietly admits he thinks it's a glorified hobby. Is art ever worth the price of tuition?
Ooh.
There we go. That's a big one.
You've just that's my inner conflict.
Go on,
Right,
explain.
there. So, I don't know what his name is, but...
Anonymous.
I come from a family of artists. So both my mother and my father were fine artists. And they met at the Royal College of Art, and that's apparently where I was conceived.
Were you?
Yes, so I'm very much... We won't go into the details.
Go on.
1982.
1982, same year as me.
I had a very art school background, and I love there's part of the left which I like. Okay, the part of the left is all about creativity and playing and destroying things and building things.
And openness.
And openness. And I like that. I grew up with that, and I adopted a lot of those ideas. The bit that they fail on is morality, but that's completely... that's another kettle of fish.
Yes.
But the first kettle of fish was a good kettle of fish, I think. And I love art schools. I loved going to art school. I'd learned a lot. But it was at a time before all of this culture went crazy. So it was still very practical. We learned how to do letterpress. We learned how to do screen printing. We learned how to do etching. And if you're an artist, that's what you want to do. You want to be there drawing, painting, making prints. That's what you love. And I love it. I've always loved it. I was born that way. So in answer to the question, I wouldn't put anyone off going to art school, but I would be more weary nowadays just because of the ideology that's being pushed all the time. And also, she'll have to pay back the debt, not you. Just make that clear in writing, And also, maybe it's worth saying to her, look, you can go to art school, but maybe you should also study something on the side where you can earn a living.
Do you know what? I never been to art school. I was never artistically really talented, which is a great sorrow of mine, because I really admire people who are artistic and can draw, and I think it's a beautiful talent to have. But I always wanted to go to art school because I wanted to be in a band. And so many bands started in art school, didn't they? They all met in art school.
Yeah. We just want to be cool and get the chick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Was art school all drugs and shagging?
Yeah, a lot of it was, but not for me. I mean, if you choose that, do it. But because I had quite an orthodox upbringing as well as having artistic parents, I had a kind of slight detachment from that. But I definitely went to see all the bands.
Yeah.
I like the music. I'm really into the mod stuff, always was, and I lived in Brighton. It was great. It was probably a bit, I tell you what, it was a good time. I went to art school 2001 to 2004, and it was just slightly more hedonistic without all the morality and the politics.
Yeah.
Just people just having fun and being mad, and there was no... It was just before everything went super social justice. There wasn't really that amount of politics in it. I didn't feel it at that time. It was beginning. There was always like a performance for Palestine, in the school lobby, but it wasn't.
I do know what you mean, because I remember going to Berkeley in 2001 when I went travelling, and I did buy a poster which said Osama Bush Laden. And I kind of didn't know what it meant. But I appreciated the pun.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah, and also when you look back, even though Iraq happened later, so I can't say it was about Iraq.
Yeah.
But the whole neocon project was indefensible looking back on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Completely. Yeah. In
So
hindsight.
I look back at my idiotic youth and go, all right, buying a poster which says Osama Bush Laden and they had him walked up as Osama bin Laden. Number one was quite funny. And number two, it was justifiable, I think, in a way. It was unacceptable, but kind of as well justifiable in a certain way. The problem, I think, with kids now is that you don't know anything, but you think you do. And that's the problem.
Yeah, they don't.
And I think that's the problem with art
change.
school.
That's the problem with art school, yeah. And also that they don't teach art properly. They were already starting it when we were young, but it was like a kind of, there's nothing really to learn. You just have to express yourself. There's no actual practical skills. It's just, it'll come from you and you'll find it. That's all obviously an ideology that's the hotbed of romanticism, that this comes from much earlier in time. And then you end up with people that are craftless and can't actually make anything, and all they can do is spout politics. So that was already starting. I mean, I kind of when I got into the Royal College of Art, I was 22, and I remember at the interview they said, "We love your work." I said, "Oh, thank you." They said, "What are you here to learn?" I said, "Well, I'm here to learn technique. I want to learn how to do various types of printing, and I've got these ideas that I want to turn into books. I'm into book binding," which ironically is how I ended up making my name with books and creating all the Ladybird books later. And they laughed at me. This whole panel of people, and I said, "Why are you laughing at me?" And they went, "We're here to teach you how to think."
You're not applying to do a philosophy course. If I went to do philosophy at Cambridge and when we're here to teach you how to think, I'll be like, well, yeah, that's why I'm here.
That's why I'm in an art school. This is, so it became an outpost of the ideology at that time hadn't cemented into anything quite so hideous of what it was going to become.
Yeah.
But I could already feel that it was more about peddling, this apparent open-mindedness. Like, you could say anything, shock, offend. But there were very, very tight rules as well. But now, that was 25 years ago. Now we're the ideology is in full swing.
Yeah, especially in the art world.
Oh.
I mean, the art world it's complete. It's like theatre or public. It's completely corrupted.
It is. It's really sad. But there are a lot of artists that don't like it. Loads, but they can't say anything because then they lose their gallery, they lose their exhibition.
It needs a J.K. Rowling. There needs to be a J.K. Rowling of the art world. Just to come out.
Me, yeah.
Yeah, and just to come out and go, they're not fucking women, are they?
It's like an ancient Babylonian death cult. That's what I think the whole thing is. It's mad. But that's another story. Yeah, you need a J.K. Rowling that's going to come in and say exactly that. And also stop looking internally all the time. Look at the real world. That's one thing that I did. Is my mother. I come from a long line of satirists. So my grandfather was a famous cartoonist. My mother's a painter. But she said what they do is they mistake, again, misery and therapy for insight. But it's not. It's just misery and therapy. She said, if you want to shock people now, just say exactly what's going. Look at what's going on around you and actually document it. So all of my work for the last 10 years has been doing exactly that through the medium of a Ladybird book or a children's book from the 60s. I'm actually just recording exactly what is going on around me, and then like a mirror showing it back, and that's why people laugh. That's the last thing they want you to do is actually look.
No. They don't want you to. They don't want to. They don't want you
to look.
Don't look.
Everybody's lovely. Everything is awesome.
Everything's cool.
Yeah, you're just
Kill the Jews.
And the white working class.
Yeah.
Blame everything on them. Fascist, racist, Nazi, bigot.
But that's
bigoted.
We should put together a little song. I think that would do quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Fascist, racist, Nazi, bigot. Islamophobe, transphobe.
Yeah, let's play.
When you think of it, though, when all of those things that you get called, they're all accusing you of being scared of stuff.
Yeah.
So So their moral compass is built around being the worst thing you can be is scared of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
It's mad.
It is. We live in insane times. We hope that answers your question. I mean, it pretty much didn't, but we hope it did. Next, dear Francis, during lockdown, my neighbour snitched on me for sitting in the park.
Oh.
We've never spoken since. Do I forgive or do some things stick forever?
Okay. What do you think about this?
Do you know what? Like, this is bad, but I think once someone has broken your trust like that and they haven't apologized, I think it's over. I genuinely do.
Yeah. That was like being transported to like the Soviet Union, where your neighbour's snitching on you. So evil. Do I forgive? I've got to say, I ignored the entire lockdown and I didn't comply with anything. And I had 2 children and one was severely disabled.
Mm-hmm.
And because I ignored everything, he learnt to walk, which was an incredible thing for me.
Incredible.
My oldest son was 3.5. And because I just kept dragging him outside all the time and doing lots of therapy in the park and just ignoring it all. Other people who are maybe older, maybe in their 50s or 60s, where they, there was so much propaganda at that time, like stay inside, you're high risk, you're highly vulnerable, and all this. That I empathise, even though they were like acting like fascists towards me. I empathise with them because they had the fear of God put into them.
Mm-hmm.
So they were acting in a way that is, it's sad, but I wasn't the targeted group. Let's say,
Yeah.
you could see how they might do that. My auntie did that, and I still love my auntie.
Yeah, the thing is, it's just I know what you mean.
You have to sort of forgive and move on because otherwise you're letting that mania kind of define everything, and it shouldn't. It's just mania.
Yeah, it was. I think we have all forgotten actually how terrible those months and years were.
I think it's like after the Second World War, there was a period when nobody talked about the war, about 15 years.
Was it?
Yeah, from 1945 to about 1960, nobody really talked about the Second World War. It was just like, let's move on. Yeah, happy.
And there'd be one person,
Jazz.
one person in the corner like,
yeah, don't worry about him. No. And then the kind of processing of what happened and the Holocaust and all of that suddenly comes in the 60s.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm not comparing it to the Second World War because it's nowhere near the death, but the trauma, I don't think. But I do think there's a period where just no one wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
And it will come back up eventually. Because that, for me, was the tipping point where the whole world went bonkers. And I think we're still in the aftermath of that.
And I think we collectively behaved so appallingly.
Yes.
That none of us really wants to go back and look at our behaviour over that time.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah. So maybe the word is forgiveness there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Although my husband would not, he thinks that it was, we should never, that it was drawing a line in the sand kind of thing. But
yeah, it's just difficult. I think we all forget how we all lost our minds.
I didn't actually. I felt very grounded.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I went mental.
By not doing any of it.
Yeah.
And just carrying on and being with my children and also going to see my parents every week and keeping Shabbat and just, I'm Jewish, great. Just doing what I've always done, that kept me grounded.
Yeah. Fair.
You know what I mean? And I live in central London, so I had all this sort of chaos around me, all the marches and then the Black Lives Matter. It was all happening around me and I was just with these 2 little kids, being a mum.
Yeah.
And it was such a strange, but also one of the most creative times I've ever lived through.
Interesting. Why? Was it because...
I was just making so much work.
Is it because there was so much to talk about?
Because there was so much contrast.
Yeah.
But, in answer to that question, I don't think any of us have truly got our head around what happened then.
No. No, you know what I compare it to? I compare it to having a really bad one-night stand. And everybody involved went, yep, never going to think about that again.
Yeah, except it went on for 2 years.
Yeah.
A one night stand that went on for 2 years.
Yeah. And we're just going to walk away and pretend it never happened. Apart from occasionally where you're sitting at your computer and you're like,
I found myself in this weird position where I was starting to listen to people that were like, yes, the world is controlled by a satanic death cult. And I was like, well, maybe. Who knows,
Yeah.
Maybe it is controlled by a satanic death cult. And then, then I slowly quit,
Yeah. I got bang into conspiracy theories.
Me too. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about anything.
Yeah.
Whatever you said, I went off the rails at one point, and then my husband, I was grounded, but it's fine to
just lose it.
To lose it a little bit. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We all did.
Anyway, so forgiveness. I've come around to Miriam's
forgiveness is the most
Miriam's
important
point of view. Forgiveness
and coming to the table.
Yeah.
Means being with your friends, being with your family, and just moving on.
Agreed. Right, next one, please, Jackie. Dear Francis, we found out a teacher at my son's school has an OnlyFans.
What's that?
Do you not know what that is?
No.
All right, okay. Half the parents want her sacked, half say it's private life. Can both be true. So, OnlyFans, Jack told me all about this.
Yeah.
So he did the research. So what OnlyFans is there's a connection to lockdown. So basically what it is, it's a website where people can go on and upload sexual content. So whether it's performing with someone else, performing solo, and then people can subscribe and pay them money every month.
That's basically kind of prostitution then.
It's digital prostitution, absolutely.
Yeah. Digipros.
And it actually...
iPros.
It very much exploded into the public consciousness
Right.
and grew massively as a result of lockdown.
Okay.
Just like alcohol, gambling, pornography, they all exploded over lockdown.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the nature of OnlyFans. Now, there's a tiny portion of men who appeal to gay men.
Yeah.
All right. Because women don't watch that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no.
But there's a lot of girls on there, especially young girls, which is very sad. And a lot of women see it now as a way to make money, either as a side hustle or the main hustle. The vast majority of women earn nothing, but there's a small portion of them who earn a sizable amount.
Right.
So that's OnlyFans.
And she's a teacher.
Yes, and she's getting a minge out.
Okay, so what's the question? Can both be true?
And should she be sacked, or is this, her private life? What do you reckon?
It's funny because it is her private life, but then it's her public life now.
Yeah.
So, is it her private life? The minute you broadcast something and ask people to pay for that, then I wouldn't say it's private life anymore.
No.
Would you? Is that fair to say?
No, I agree.
Right? It's actually it's your job. You're broadcasting that. So, but then I don't like to sort of rat on anyone and say she should be sacked. And also, if it doesn't affect any of the kids, don't know about it in the classroom. But then they could find out pretty easily nowadays. Yeah, I don't think it's right.
You don't think it's right?
I don't think it's right. But then I try to be fair about things.
Okay, let's explore this. Why don't you think it's right? What's not right about it?
But then, look,
Are you talking about
come
right?
from a time where, there was some shame involved in that. You're like, I have certain beliefs that you shouldn't do that. And I don't want to stop anyone from doing whatever they want to do. But it's something to do with her relationship with the children and them finding out. That's what would cause me sort of...
Yeah.
In many ways, if she was working in a completely different profession, say not a teacher, like a librarian or something, then I probably wouldn't be like, fine, go for it.
I mean,
that's because she's a teacher and she's influencing young children.
Yeah.
That's where I find the discord, right?
So
Does that sound reasonable, or am I being...
No. So your argument is essentially her position in the school is untenable because as a teacher you are influencing young minds and you kind of have to be a moral authority.
Yes.
And that's very difficult to do if everybody has seen your anus.
Yes. I would say, maybe she should ditch the teaching job and, do something different. I don't know. Work in a betting agency or telesales.
And then just get your minky out.
And then no one would care. It's just the fact that you're working with children. I think for me, that's a bit wrong.
Yeah. The problem is as well is once the kids know about it, it's over.
I found out that my A-level teacher, music teacher, was a pedophile. Only like years later, it was all over the papers.
Really? He was a nonce?
They found him watching some hideous stuff. And he was the most sort of flamboyant. And he was a brilliant music teacher. This is what... he was so brilliant at that he had such an extensive knowledge of musical history, and he was so bright and he was probably one of the best teachers I've ever had. So when I found that out, it sort of jars you. You're nothing ever happened, obviously, in the school, but it all came out, and it just sort of...
What school did you go to in North London? Was it a private school?
It was in my sixth form, so I was at Acklam Burley, which was...
I know it.
Which was sort of lefties. I went from a very religious, conservative Jewish school called JFS.
Yeah.
To outrageous lefty, no rules, smoke dope with the teachers kind of thing. So I've got a foot in both worlds.
That's so funny.
And I always have had a foot in both worlds, and that's okay.
Yeah. So, and then he got exposed. I'm going to be honest with you, there's a lot of, if not nonces, but nonce-adjacent people in teaching. And very... you're like, you just see them and you're like, mate, this isn't... And very frequently, they do tend to be the best teachers. Like, genuinely, like, people think I'm going to be outrageous or provocative or being like... Very frequently they do. I know a lot of people who've actually said to me, oh, my teacher was this or that, he was dodgy, but he was brilliant as well.
He's a brilliant teacher. I know. I mean, it's like sometimes the biggest arseholes are artists.
Yeah.
And people go, what amazing art. And then they turn out to be absolutely awful people,
Like Picasso.
But that's why you shouldn't take your moral compass from art, because it doesn't have one.
No.
You can't look at the artist and go, I'm going to model my life on this artist. Are you mad?
Yeah, because what did Picasso do? Was he just a shagger, or was he...
He was just terrible to lots of people, particularly women.
Well,
I don't know the details, but I've read a bit. It's not good.
Is it not good?
Look, but my point is the art and the artist are two very different things.
Yeah.
Someone can be an absolute brilliant person and a brilliant artist. Someone can be an awful person and a brilliant artist.
I mean, look at Hitler. He was literally the worst of both.
I did a poster once when I was at art school. They said to advertise our art school. This is in Brighton. And it said, Hitler couldn't get into art school, but you can. And they said, no, we're not going to do that.
But just imagine if he was incredible at art. His book was brilliant, Mike.
My cat.
I mean, it's...
apparently his mum, Clara Hitler,
got
cancer and went to a Jewish doctor in Vienna. And this Jewish doctor, really looked after her.
Yeah.
And he also really admired Hitler's paintings and drawings. He was just a 10-year-old kid. And he put them all over his doctor's practice, these paintings. And he used to buy them off Hitler, give him money for them. And
really?
He really looked after his mother. And later, when he went, genocide, kill all the Jews, he said, I want every Jew in the world exterminated, except this one man, I forget his name, this doctor and his family. They're the only Jews that are worthy of living. That's what he said.
Really? That's so funny in a very dark... It just shows
but
you...
But it's true. It's a true story. And they gave him... He had a sort of protection under the SS that they couldn't interfere with his life. He went to America because it became too much, but he survived.
It just shows
Hitler
you
just
what...
I want everyone dead except him because he was nice to my mummy.
No, it wasn't just that. It wasn't. It's because all artists are vicious little narcissists. And he understood my greatness.
Yeah. He put my work up in his office. It's a true story.
Yeah, I
wish I
is.
was making it up, but that's...
No, that absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, was Hitler pretty decent at art?
I mean, I think to me it just looks a bit kitsch, but I mean, I don't know. I haven't really looked at his work. Is there a book of Hitler's work? I'm sure it would sell well nowadays.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
just
it would
need to
do.
translate into Arabic.
Yeah, Jack's got it as a coffee table in
As
his
a
house.
coffee.
There's a coffee book. You know, you'll just come in and you can just peruse a great man's art. I seriously think, like, genuinely, I reckon if you made that coffee book, I reckon you'd have shit.
Really?
Yeah, of course you would.
Hitler's painting.
Endless paintings.
Misunderstood.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have killed you all
Yeah.
if you'd have just accepted his art.
All you had to do was say, oh, that's quite
We're
good.
living in an age now where people are saying, oh, maybe he was right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He was. You know,
Depressing.
I think we should do that, Miriam.
Okay. Well,
should put
Hitler's painting.
Here's a painting. Just put a coffee book. I reckon we'd make shitloads.
Well, don't say it on this because then someone else is going to think of it.
Yeah, I know. That
Mind
is
you,
true.
I'm a publisher, so...
Why don't we do it?
Well, yeah, all right. The best of.
The collected works.
Collected
Oh,
work.
no, let's call it the very best of Adolf Hitler.
Like now 24.
Yeah. What we could do is we could have one of his paintings and, like, you know, some like kitsch watercolor, and then we could have some just like a quote from Mein Kampf.
Fine. Oh no, I was thinking of a quote from somewhere else, but yes.
Yeah.
Is there another question?
Okay.
How did so they just appear? Are people
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
this live?
No. It's just people, you know, who are fans of the show. Jackie, could we have the next question, please? We're out of time.
No!
We're out of time, Miriam. If people want to find
I
you,
didn't. Oh, my book.
yeah, you plug your book now.
All right. This is my book. Go and buy it. It's called I Saw an Art Fair, and it's got all of the woke establishment in one book. And it's basically like a tick box guide.
Yeah.
So here we have a woken pole, a mashed up pile of oppressed global victims. My favourite here is a rainbow sculpture that you can find. And in the rainbow it says, there are so many types of people to shag.
My sentiments exactly.
So, yeah, and there's also a Banksy with two policemen kissing, and it says, a shocking stencil image that isn't shocking. So, yeah, you should go and buy it. It's out. It's in, like, the Tate Modern and Waterstones. Or you can go on my website, which is www.dungbeetlebooks.com.
Fantastic.
And have a look at all my other books, because they're very funny.
Yeah, Miriam is a sensational satirist and artist, and I highly recommend. Her books are brilliant, and they're a lot of fun, and they'd make a great Christmas present or birthday present.
Yeah.
Wink. As will her new book, The Very Best of Adolf Hitler. All right, guys, remember to like and subscribe, all the rest of it. Tell somebody about the episode. If not, shut your face. We'll see you next week.